excuse my ignorance, I watch the races. You know, I sort of know what's going on, especially in the pointy end of the field. But I wouldn't know who was on Gamux and why you say, like, a lot of riders want to ride that bike. Like, what is it about that bike that is so appealing?
I'd say that the number one thing for a rider was when it came past was just its silence. Like, there's definitely something to be said for a noisy bike feeling rougher. And I think we've all probably been there.
Okay,
We've got something loose on your bike and it drives you mad, you know? You're like halfway down the run going, what is this, you know? And you need to be 100% focused on what you're doing in downhill. And having anything like that you can hear, or sometimes it's just frequency for the frame as well that you can't really avoid. Just with the way modern frames are manufactured, just welding tubes together, they're basically like hollow cans. So if the terrain's quite rough and you've got your suspension set up quite stiff, you feel all of that and you hear all of it as well, and it drives you mad. So yeah, the Gamux just came past you on track and it just sounded like so different, just like no regular bike noises. All you could hear was the tires, and every single rider just wants that. That's what you want out of a bike, is at least for it to be quiet. And then, of course, you start looking into the CNC process. So it's not welded tubes like a regular bicycle. It's made out of a solid block of aluminium. So it would start about the size of that table, probably about the same thickness as well. Yeah. They put it in, I think our ones are actually done on a 3-axis machine. You can get 5-axis as well, but they basically have it laid flat, machine one half of the frame, flip it over and machine the other half. And some of the benefits of that riding wise are obviously just its dampening effects. I explained this on the Gypsy podcast. It's like filling up a can, having a full can of water and tap it with your van keys, and then empty it and now tap it with your van keys. That's the equivalent. It's like the full can is the CNC'd version. The empty can is like a welded up aluminium frame. Right. And there's a reason frames are made like that, and it's just because of it's cheap and easy, because manufacturers are mass producing frames. Like, we don't have to do that. We're not stuck in those boundaries. Okay. So CNC is a much better material. The Specialized has a massive CNC lump in the bottom of it, where the bottom bracket is. The whole chain stays CNC. Like, they use that for a good reason. Yes, it might not last as long. You can crack it maybe a bit more frequently, but modern bikes now, they pretty much all crack our level. Like, we're all pushing them so hard that every manufacturer on a World Cup race weekend struggles with breaking bikes, and that's just natural because we're pushing the limit, you know. So that's probably the biggest thing you notice trackside until before you get to ride it, is just that death sound that it makes, just a like everything's so quiet and it sounds so controlled, you know, as a frame. So yeah, I saw that. Every rider saw that, and everybody wanted it. You know, it's like interesting. Okay. It was the one place I had to go.
And what's their like background in this? How come they've come into downhill with this new take on? I mean, CNC frame is new, right?
I guess so. Yeah, I believe there was a company called Empire, but I think they used to cast them. I don't think they were machined, but I'm not 100% sure. So somebody will know that in the UK. But yeah, really, I don't know of any other frame that's completely CNC top to bottom. There will be ones out there. There's engineers making their own bikes all over the place now, but there's never been one at a World Cup circuit, head to toe, CNC'd, every single part made by one man in a shed. You know, it's like, that doesn't happen. Yeah. And that is Pascal Tinner. He's a Swiss downhill racer. Okay. Absolutely extraordinary guy. Just a single man who lives in CAD land, just running simulations over simulation over simulation, creating bikes that he likes, that he wants to ride based on theories that he believes in. And surprisingly to me, he's helped a lot of the current manufacturers out there design their bikes. He's actually been reached out by a lot of engineers, and a lot of the engineers do a lot of talking behind the scenes and share ideas and stuff like that. And I'll definitely be over Pascal's head this time. We're like, do we need to tell them that? You know, like. But up until this point, he's been mega helpful to a lot of people and a lot of other engineers. So I think that goes to show you the talent that he has, the skill that he has, and I mean the passion for it's there and some. And his talent for it is definitely there now. I'm beginning to, the more time I get to hang out with him and the more time I spend with him and his products, the more I realise how insanely talented he is. Right. Like, watch the air pressure. These are the settings, and you go and ride and you're like, what? It's like perfect. You actually nailed it, you know? Wow. He's insane. Yeah. Like, it's really impressive. I've never had that in my career. Like, that's really, really special. and you could be stood there, and as of today, we could design a bike, he could run it through his simulations, he could get it made, he could get it built, and I could be on a completely new concept bike, billet machined in 4 to 6 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
And I've never had access to that ever at another.
No.
You know, the logistics of asking a big brand to do that for you, and there's no logo. What will we paint it? Like all of these stupid marketing decisions that just racing doesn't have time for. We don't have time for that. And like we discussed in the van earlier, if somebody comes out with something 1 week, in 1 month we could have another 3 races. We could have 4 months in one race. So at the start of that month, they come up with an advantage. You're going to lose that advantage over 3 races, but it's only been a month's time.
Yeah.
Like we need to be able to move really,
Fast.
really fast.
Okay.
And the bigger the manufacturer, the slower the ship. You know, and that's it. I feel like I've went from the Titanic, which is fantastic in so many ways because they don't have much of a fear of money. You're always going to get big sponsors. It's a massive worldwide brand. Like, there's a lot of positives that come from that, but one of its major downsides is it's really slow to steer. And we've now went to a speedboat where we've got one guy. I can phone him. We need this, and he's going, "Fuck yeah, we do." Straight into CAD land. I've made this. Should I print it? And that's it. The process is done. You know,
that's super exciting.
Come over to Switzerland and we'll test it, and that's the job done. So that's pretty special, and I wouldn't have got that anywhere else. I don't think.
I was going to say, I mean, obviously, has that been a massive part of putting this together? If you couldn't work with Gamux, would you still be going on in your own?
Yeah, I was going to make my own frame on my dad. That was the original plan. I was going to weld up
full Nico.
Yep, I was going to weld up my own steel frame because you don't need a new bike every race. I was like, I'll just get enough sponsorship money to pay my wages and cover our traveling costs, which I thought that's totally doable. I could start a YouTube channel and get all that stuff going, and I could really do it and make it happen. So that was my original plan. I was really going to do it on myself.
Wow.
And then when I got together with Paul and stuff, and then second at Ludenville, and things really started to snowball, and then we thought, actually, no, let's do this proper. Let's make a whole team. Let's give other riders the opportunity to be on this as well, and not just yourself. Yeah. And then, the Dominic thing and Pascal with the Gamux came along, and luckily for me, because I think doing it myself, knowing what I know now, it would have been pretty bad. Like, would have had a top tube through my throat at some point, probably. You know, it wouldn't have been good. So I'm glad it's worked out the way it has.
Yeah, for sure, mate. There's so many elements of this though that I find fascinating about creating a team. Earliest discussions. What does it look like? Who do you sit down with? Where are you? Like, the program itself is really interesting to break down, I guess. I mean, we could go through it with various sponsors you've brought in, obviously. But yeah, I'd love for you to just try to explain that process. You keep mentioning Paul. Who's Paul? Like,
okay.
Let's just try and like really figure out how you've put this together.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think it's super exciting.
So initially it was me and Paul and April. So they're from Net Performance. Anybody that's been following me for a while know that they're an athlete management company. There is a lot more than that to me. Him and April, we've been really good friends. He kind of started this journey with Ben Cathro a good while ago now, maybe like 2018.
Okay. Hey, man, what an episode that was. You did amazing in it.
And so did you.
You shone like a star.
You shone like a moon.
Can we also put something up here that you can click on for the next episode?
How about we put a subscribe up there in the middle?
Yeah, I love
We're going to put a video we think that our lovely companionship will love on your face.
On my face?
Yeah. And
so
on
they can't see me now?
Gone. And on my face, another video that we think people will love. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please hit like and subscribe. You guys are the best.
Peace and love.